Today I'm going to be talking about Nova Scotia Community College. I had somebody ask me about Nova Scotia Community College, and while I haven't gone there, I do live in Halifax. I have a lot of friends that go to NSCC, and I've done film projects at that campus. Well, they have quite a few campuses, but they're Halifax one. I've actually done a couple of film projects and met some really cool people, so I think I can really weigh in on what makes NSCC an awesome school, but also talk about the benefits for international students who want to go to Nova Scotia Community College. So again, my name is Nader Najat. I help students and international students through online courses and through my YouTube videos here on the channel, and I also come from a background of marketing. So we do talk about various topics, but the main thing we cover here is topics for people who want to move to Canada and students already in Canada who want to find their way around and make a better life for themselves. So please hit that subscribe button. Again, I do this for free. I do this because it helps people, and it lets people know what I'm doing and really gets my message out there that everybody should try something new. So I'm really excited to talk about NSCC today, so let's get started. Basically, Nova Scotia Community College, just to flat out put it there, is a lot smaller than the other schools. It's in terms of energy and in terms of let's say international recognition. If you go to a school like McGill or Dalhousie or any of those other big schools, you're probably going to be recognized more for the school that you went to rather than going to Nova Scotia Community College. While NSCC does have some pretty cool alumni, I wouldn't say that you're going to be, as commended for going to NSCC than Dalhousie, and that's a really silly thing to say, especially for somebody who goes to a rather small journalism school with only 1,000 people in it. You need to ask yourself why you're coming here. Our purposes may be different. I'm going to a small school because I already live in Canada. I'm thinking about maybe becoming an entrepreneur, but I want that, the branding of a degree, and I also want to have that option of, if people question my credibility down the road, or if I teach students and they say, hey, you're only preaching that people should, not go to school because you didn't go to school. Because sometimes I tell people not to go to school if it's not the best option for them, and universities don't like that, and some people who are pro-university, parents don't like me telling people that. So if I go to school, it gives me more credibility there. It's just extra value for me. But if you're coming to Canada and you're spending a lot of money, probably over $20,000 Canadian, at least over 20 grand Canadian a year, you may want to say, hey, what school should I try to get admitted to? Now, if you go to NSCC and you want to live in Canada, perfect. You can go to Nova Scotia Community College, get a college degree, and then work in Canada. But if you're trying to grab your degree and go back, work somewhere else in the world, you wouldn't necessarily have to come to Canada. Go to a country with cheaper tuition if you're going to go to NSCC. You could get universities or colleges of the same caliber, I believe, in some European countries. I'm not too sure about immigration policies and study permits in the European countries because I don't live there. But what I recommend doing is, if you're going to just go to any school, if you're going, like NSCC, I'm not saying is any school, it's great, we're going to go over the perks of it, but if you're really coming here for branding and you want to be internationally recognized, or you want to be able to go to a company and work anywhere in the world, NSCC will be a good degree from Canada. It's great, but if you really want to get the most bang for your buck, you may have to spend a little bit extra, but I would go to Dalhousie University if you're going to the East Coast, or aim for a school like McGill. I would aim for like the real McCoy of schools. Look at Canada's top 10 universities. I believe I may have mentioned this in a previous video, so subscribe to the channel and look around. But what I recommend you do is to go to a school that's going to give you a lot of leverage when you leave. Now, for me, if I were to go to NSCC for my purposes, it would be great. But you need to ask yourself, weigh that out, ask yourself, hey, do I want to go to Canada's top universities, or do I want to go, to a community college? Which, at the same time, I'm not dissing it, I'm saying it's great. But you need to ask yourself what you're coming here for. I think I've covered that topic enough, so that I'm not reiterating and repeating myself. Let's talk a little bit about NSCC in general. Now, I have their tuition fees and costs for international students. I'm just going to read you a breakdown, but if you want to find this, it's international.nscc.ca. Again, international.nscc.ca, and you'll be able to find the form. So basically, going over it, it looks like you're going to be saving money in the long run. For all I know, college degrees are somewhat shorter than your standard 4-year bachelor degree. So over time, you're going to save more money. But on a year-to-year basis, I'm looking at the cost breakdown here, and it seems full-time certificate, diploma, and advanced diploma programs, $10,000, $10,700. And if you're looking at academic career connection certificate, it's $10,700. So if program fee is more than $10,000 for Canadian students, international students will pay the higher amount. So you're always paying more as an international student. So you need to ask yourself, you're going to be shelling out 20 grand. You're not going to be saving so much, but you will be saving a little bit over time because you're not, spending like 22 grand or 19 to 22 grand every single year for 4 years. So yeah, but you're still going to be paying like 20 grand once or twice. So you need to ask yourself, maybe more than that. So you need to ask yourself how long it's going to take you, how much money you have. And let me give you advice right now. If this is going to put you in a whole bunch of debt and you're going to come to Canada in tons and tons and tons of debt, I'm not saying don't better your life, don't take the risk. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But don't let people tell you that you need to go to a university to get a good job. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be something that requires, no matter what, requires a degree, sure. I'm not going to weigh in on that anymore, but I don't want to see people getting into like $80,000 of debt and then struggling in Canada, because that's not what anybody wants. Especially for you guys, you don't want that either. So ask yourself what you can do. There are a bunch of other fees when you're going to NSCC. So you're going to end up paying an application fee, $75 Canadian, college services fee for your ID cards, your transcripts, and your technology. I don't think they really give you any technology, but there might be something. $100, non-refundable tuition deposit. When you are accepted and you are going to the school, you need to send a non-refundable tuition deposit of $400. Again, you don't get that money back. So when you think you're going to go to NSCC and you're going to invest in that, I'm very yellow for my lights, you're going to have to pay $400. So don't pay it if you think you might not end up going. Because depending on what currency you're in, especially if you're in like, most of my audience comes from Canada, India, US, and a couple of other places. But looking at a lot of international students on this channel coming from India, you don't want to pay $400 Canadian for no reason. It's not good to your currency. Anyway, your health insurance is to be determined usually, but it's around $242. And your Students Association fee is around $75 to $110. You have a U-Pass for Metro Campus students of $174, a parking pass of $20, student photo ID replacement, these are for replacements, $5, and a co-op work placement course tuition, $1,028. So again, if you want to see this form, international.nscc.ca. So it is a good university. I believe they have like 12 campuses and they're really well known. So if you want to go to NSCC, definitely give it a shot. But again, weigh out your degree branding and what you actually want to get from it. I think you can still get the same leverage going to a smaller school as long as you're confident and you can sell yourself. But if you're going to rely on just the degree, you want to hand it to someone and get a job, and you're not going to do that legwork from getting a smaller degree at a community college, then I would recommend, getting that bigger degree. So anyway, my name is Nader Najad. Channel's all for students and international students. Subscribe and drop me a comment down below. Thanks for watching.